What is happening, sports fans? It's your main man, Matt, from the DFS 5-pack. I am rocking it solo. It is Monday, June 6th. We've got a small MLB slate to talk over tonight. Only 6 games on the docket. One of those games is almost surely not going to play. Another one, questionable. So weather concerns tonight, which stinks. But I like these smaller slates, so I'm excited to get into it. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. Crush some MLB, crush some MMA, whatever you got into. Hopefully it was fun. Before I hop into that baseball, let me shout out our promoter real quick. So ABC Island, if you haven't checked them out yet, not sure what you're waiting for, the link and the promo code will be in the description section of the video. It's a really cool book that, again, everyone should check out. We've had a bunch of people go on there and win money. Really cool features on there, very personalized. So, again, the link in the description will be in the link in the promo code, will be in the description section. I knew I said that wrong. So check it out. I'd appreciate it. And I think you will be happy you did that. So with that being said, let's hop into the MLB. All righty. So as far as tonight goes, let's just do this game by game because smaller slate. This game, Arizona-Cincinnati, is the game that probably will not play. Should most likely get an early PPD here. So there's that. If this game somehow, if the weather clears and this game plays, there's a lot to like about the bats in this game. Cincy is cheap against Madison Bumgarner, so their whole lineup wildly in play. And then Arizona against Hunter Green. We've seen Hunter Green be very good, strike out a ton of guys, and then also get lit up. As a guy that can give up home runs. So I would like Arizona. I would like the Arizona stack as well, but I don't expect this game to play. So we will shuffle through that quickly. On to the next game, which is also questionable. The weather here in Cleveland is iffy. We'll talk about this game as if it's going, though, especially with the first one, most likely out of play. That leaves us with only 5 games. So assuming this game plays or presuming this game plays, pitching options, you got Quantrill against John Gray. Given the slate, I think both guys are in play. I'm not excited about either of them. The thing I like about Quantrill is he's not getting much love. He is overpriced at 8,500. Good matchup against the Rangers. Good low ownership in tournaments, but he's not a great DFS pitcher, and you're paying a premium for him. So on paper, there's a lot more to like about John Gray here, who's coming off his best start as a Ranger, struck out 12 Rays. I'm not really buying this. He's, been better at home, by a good margin. He makes sense at 6,600, but Cleveland's not a team that strikes out. So in tournaments, I probably won't go here. I think he makes more sense in cash games. That said, other guys are getting more love in cash games. So I don't think Gray is needed tonight, I guess is the best way to put it. As far as the offenses go here, I wish Gray were getting more love because that would make me like the Cleveland offense more, but I do like them as it stands. J-Ram, probably the AL MVP favorite at this point, just having a phenomenal year. My boy Oscar Gonzalez hasn't done anything special yet, but keeps getting hits. He's 2,400. I like him again tonight. Andres Jimenez, home runs in back-to-back games. Check the game log. I mean, dude is balling double digits in 5 straight. Wildly in play in the stack or as a one-off. You got Josh Naylor. The Indians lineup is, I think, better than people expected it would be going into the season. I think they're in a decent spot tonight against John Gray. Like I said, I wish he were getting more love. He's not. But I think the Indians are in play as a stack here. Obviously, we need this game to play, and they're not going to get a ton of love. As far as the Rangers go, looks like the Rangers are going to get more love than the Guardians. I get it. I prefer the Guardians, though, especially given the ownership. They're also cheap. They're pretty cheap with Seager and Simeon, the only guys that are expensive. Simeon's picked his season up, quite considerably since his early season struggles. They've got Ezekiel Duran in there who homered yesterday. Of course, I used him on Saturday, and he did nothing, but then he homered yesterday where he wasn't on the slate. He's 2K, had really good numbers at Double-A. They called him straight up from there. He fits that stack. You could even use him as a one-off with dual eligibility. They got power up and down their lineup, so I don't mind some Rangers here if you want to settle on them as your main stack. I think you could do worse. Again, need this game to play, but I think all sides of this game are in play for tournaments, both pitchers and both offenses. Cash games, neither stands out. None of it stands out. All right, Seattle and Houston, we've got Robbie Ray against Christian Javier. Ray's the most expensive pitcher on the slate. Really tough spot against Houston. I mean, he strikes out a lot of guys, but Houston does not strike out a lot. He's got an ERA close to 5. I mean, I don't really like Ray at all here. He's getting love. I get it, just because there's not really that many other places to go. I'm more interested in the Houston bats than I am Ray himself in tournaments. I get the Ray love in tournaments. You can certainly use him. He's got high strikeout upside, but it's just an awful spot for him, and you're definitely paying a premium. And then on the other side of this, Christian Javier, he's also getting love. Better spot for him. He's a little bit cheaper. He's not like a great DFS pitcher. He had those back-to-back 9 strikeout games. I said that last night. I wasn't buying it. Still not really buying it. I mean, on paper, I think Javier is in play, but I don't think you're going to get a monster upside start for him. And I don't think that, some Seattle bats against him are crazy. I don't like them as much as I like Houston, though. Speaking of Houston, Cheap Gurriel, who has always been good against lefties, got a hit in his last at bat last night. Love to see it. Altuve for sure. You've got Mauricio Dubon at 2,300, probably in the 2-hole again today. Yordan Alvarez, Tucker, and Bregman. I like this stack. They're not going to get a lot of love, especially with Ray pulling the ownership that he is projected to pull. I like Houston in tournaments. Obviously, a high variance type spot. If Ray has his A stuff today, they probably aren't doing much, but Ray hasn't had his A stuff much all season, and this is not the spot you want to have your B, C stuff against in Houston. The Seattle stack I would only get to if I were making a ton of lineups. Toronto and KC, Daniel Lynch against Ross Stripling. There are just crappy pitchers on this slate. I have no interest in either of these guys. Lynch is the better pitcher, I think, but just not the spot. Stripling, no. He's cheap enough. There was a time where he was pretty good, but no, this is not the spot to use him. I actually think both offenses Toronto is obviously in play. They're getting a ton of love. They're going to be the chalk offense on the slate. They're affordable. They mash lefties, Vlad, Bichette, Teoscar, Lourdes Gurriel, Santiago Espinal, Matt Chapman crushes lefties. He homered yesterday. The whole lineup's in play. I think you're going to see them with high ownership across the board, especially the Vlads, the Bichettes, the Teoscars of the world. They look good here. As far as the KC side goes, I don't mind them either. Sal Perez all of a sudden got hot real quick. Not sure why Houston decided to pitch to him yesterday, but 25 DK points in back-to-back games. You're paying a premium for him, but I don't think people are going to get there. And I like him a lot in the stacker as a one-off. Obviously, they leave him much to be desired. Whit Merrifield, only outfield eligible at this point. That sucks. Probably only stacks or where I want to use him. I don't know if Benintendi plays here. That weakens their lineup. Yeah, I don't like Stripling, but the more I look at KC, I don't really like them either, except for Salvador Perez, and I don't think it'll be hard to get there. Boston and the Angels. We've got Michael Wacha for the Red Sox in Anaheim with Noah Syndergaard hosting him. I will say, Wacha's a guy that people have picked on a lot. I know I was victim to it last slate. I used some Reds against him, and it should go hide right now after saying that. But he's been pretty good all year. He struggled against the White Sox, wasn't great against Seattle, but he had been pretty good before that. On this slate, I don't think he's crazy. I think, obviously, the Angels are also in play against him, but give me him over, the Striplings and Lynches of the world. Against the scuffling Angels team, losers of 11 straight, heartbreaking loss yesterday for them. I don't think Wacha's insane here. I would get to Walkover. I'd get to Syndergaard, to be honest. I will say Syndergaard's another guy that he's been much better at home. So maybe that limits my interest in Boston. That said, I'm not really a believer in Syndergaard these days, and he allows more stolen bases than basically anyone. So the Boston stack, wildly in play. All of them. Devers, monster game for him yesterday. Bogarts, JD Martinez, Verdugo. If a lot of these guys get on base, they're going to run. Not all of them because they're older, but like Jaron Duran, probably leading off at 2,600. Like him a lot. If you need the filler piece, for sure, in play for me, whether you're stacking Boston or just using him as a one-off. And then the Angels, man, oh man, 11-game slide for them. Trout is cold right now. I mean, he hasn't done anything in a minute. This could change in a flash. He could homer 3 times tonight. But I don't know why up to the Angels here. Yeah, I mean, it's the Angels start with Trout and Ohtani with Taylor Ward out. I don't love the Angels here. Like I said, I respect Walker right now. Those guys are amazing, Trout and Ohtani. And if you want to go to like the Jared Walshes and Brandon Marshes of the world on a small slate, I don't hate it, but not where I'm prioritizing. But then last but not least, this is also an interesting one. Kind of like the first game for me in tournaments where I could see all sides of this game. Carrasco and Snell both wildly in play. It does look like Blake Snell is going to be the chalk pitcher on the slate. I mean, I get it. I like that his pitch count is high. Throwing a lot of pitches. The Mets do not strike out a lot, though, and they are good. So with him getting so much love, I mean, the Mets stack for me, like, wildly in play for me, like, for sure. And then Carrasco on the other side, Cookie. He's more solid and spectacular these days, but, like, he's probably my favorite pitcher on the slate. I'm surprised he's not getting more love. Padres coming home from a long road trip. Let's see how long they were gone for. So they just like the week in St. Louis and in Milwaukee, but now coming back home. Given the slate, I mean, give me Carrasco against San Diego over Ray versus Houston like all day. So Carrasco's a guy I like. Again, smaller slate. If you want to stack the Padres, I don't hate that either. Not where I'm going, though. The Mets stack, though, in play for me. They got some lefty masters, Alonso, homers in back-to-back games. J.D. Davis has been pretty good recently. Well, not really, but had a nice day yesterday with an RBI double and extra innings. Lindor, been one of the best players in baseball. Starling Marte, Marcana. I like the stack in tournaments. These guys crush lefties. We've seen Blake Snell get hit before for sure. I wouldn't be shocked at it tonight. Again, on Mondays, also things play out weird. So know that as well. Fun slate tonight. Hard to break down, but I think everyone's dealing with kind of the same mess here. Waiting to see if those first 2 games play. Obviously, the first one most likely will not play, but we'll have to wait and see on that. That's all I got for you guys, though. If you want more info, more content, more videos, any of that stuff, go check out the DFS 5-pack. I'm around this afternoon if you have any questions. This is a members-only video free to the public. And thanks again, guys. Catch you on the flip side.